Gather witches for Philosophy Sunday. While the Christians are sitting in church learning to hate us, we are going to sit and learn to love ourselves. Today's Philosophy Sunday is Kahlil Gibran, and it is inspired by two things. First, Fairy Holistics has been talking about Kahlil Gibran this week, which amazing. Second, it's the kind of influx of pagans and witches we've seen fleeing to Jesus. This conversation is brought up within the witch talk community about the dark night of the soul. Now, under the pressure of the dark night of the soul, a lot of the times witches or pagans will jump ship because the pressure is just too much. Reading from Kahlil Gibran's The Prophet, and the section is on pain. And a woman spoke, saying, "Tell us of pain." And he said, "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding, even as the stone of the fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so must you know pain. And could you keep your heart and wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy. And you would accept the seasons of your heart, even as you have always accepted the seasons that pass over your fields. And you would watch with serenity through the winters of your grief. Much of your pain is self-chosen. It is the bitter potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. For his hand, though heavy and hard, is guided by the tender hand of the unseen. And the cup he brings, though it burns your lips, has been fashioned of the clay, which the potter has moistened with his own sacred tears. Here he mentions the stone of the fruit, or the seed of the fruit. And the fruit has to break in order for the sun to land on the seed, before it will grow. That is the transformative process that witches often go through. Problem is, it has to break, and that is not easy. If you're a Christian or a witch or nothing, everybody goes through this process repeatedly throughout their lives. And as witches, we are learning that sorrow and sadness tend to hollow us out. That feeling, that emptiness, becomes the vessel for joy and wisdom and the magic that we create. Now, if a witch holds on to the craft and their practice through this breaking process, that's when we come to the realization of what joy and sorrow is. And on joy and sorrow, he says, "Then the woman said, 'Speak to us of joy and sorrow.' And he answered, 'Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine not the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find it is the only that which has given you sorrow that is giving you joy. When you are sorrowful, look again in your heart, and you shall see that it is truth you are weeping for, that which has been your delight. Some of you say, Joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, Nay, sorrow is greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep on your bed. Early you are suspended like scales between your sorrow and your joy. Only when you are empty are you at standstill and balanced. And the treasure keeper lifts you to weigh his gold and his silver, needs must your joy or your sorrow rise or fall. Imagine your grief and your sorrow like cleansing and banishing. We hear often in witchcraft that when you banish, you must invoke. When grief or sorrow or pain is hollowing you out, it is making more space for joy. That dark night of the soul, if you can get through it, expands your soul's capacity to hold light. And when you are afraid or when you are uncertain, if you cannot withstand sitting in that uncomfortable grief and sorrow, a lot of times people abandon the practice and abandon the uncertainty for something that they feel is certain. That's the point in witchcraft where the strong survive. And I can promise you they come out better. Craft is beautiful, magic is beautiful, witchcraft is beautiful. Not easy. There is no easy path here. It's worth it. And this light that we can hold on to and this grounding we can hold on to is what happens when somebody deconstructs their religion, finally awakens their magical consciousness. Hope that helps.